Okay, well, silver's up over a buck today. It was $37. Holy mackerel. Should have got in, should have got in. Keep telling myself. But that's not what we're here to talk about, obviously. We're back on this damn skull. Now, I have a new friend I met, a guy from Nova Scotia, and he's helped me out a lot. He sent it to some paleological society that they said they thought it was a skull of a giant sloth. Well, um, perhaps it wasn't shown properly, but I've checked all the photographs, and there were a good number of them. This time was helpful of a giant of sloth skulls, and this is by no means a sloth. So I thought, well, maybe I can zoom in on one aspect of this, and I think the telltale aspect is the teeth, because it's going to eliminate a great deal of animals. All the horses, all the cows, all the elk, all those animals are out of there. All the bears, are eliminated. The mastodons, woolly mammoths, they're all out of there. Uh, Most of the dinosaurs are going to be eliminated. So let's get around and I'll show you what I have, and then I'll show you what I want, what I think that people should be looking at it to know what they're looking at. Because it just could have been the way I was demonstrated. It's so much different seeing something on a small screen and actually holding it in person. So I think maybe we'll give these a shot, and I'll show you why I think it isn't any of the uh, aforementioned mentioned teeth. First of all, let's take a look and see what we have here. This thing here, this is what we're looking at, and and you can see the teeth very clearly, and you can see the hole that root made of that tooth, and you can say, well, how do you know that was the root? Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, Occam's law, by eliminating all other possibilities, I think you'd end up with a high degree of probability that it's probably the the cavity which a tooth came out of. And if that was, oh, holy mackerel, if that wasn't proof enough, then you'd look at the side of it and you'd see that yes, that is the way these teeth are. They get narrower as they descend into the skull. See, and they have a very uh, distinct form inside the tooth, and you can see actually down into this tooth. So it also tells you that indeed was over here was the hole from the root of a tooth. So we know that it's a tooth that has a single root in the shape of a cone. Now these here are all dinosaur teeth, and these teeth you'll see none of which show any sign of any root, and every one of which these are predatory dinosaurs. These are not uh, herbivores. These are carnivores, but they all have the groove here that runs down the side of them. I guess you can see that pretty easily. I'm going to put that on an angle. Maybe you can see it a little better. But they have this groove runs down the side of them. So we can eliminate any carnivorous dinosaur. And the dinosaurs, I don't know if what the root system of the ones that were herbivores were. Now these are croc teeth, all right, and you see the same thing, croc tooth. It it hasn't it has no real root system, you know, on it. See, there's other croc teeth there. Now this thing here, people wouldn't recognize it, I guess, but this This is a horse tooth. See? And you'll see from the top and the nature of it that it is nowhere near similar to these. These are rounded, and this is a very long, sturdy root, but it's almost in the form of a box. See, and these are pretty plentiful. It's nothing rare to have one of them. Now these are parts of woolly mammoth teeth, and they'd also be part of. I mean, it would be very similar. Would be if they were mastodon or modern elephants. These are only part. The tooth itself in these animals is as big as this whole fossil, and they're grooved so that they can grind very finely, grind up what they eat. Would be like going through a grist mill where there's little grooves in it. So that I think this is what we have to concentrate on, and we only because I'm asking your help. That these teeth are the answer. We can worry about these grooves and whether or not they are for some form of tusk or not, how they fit into the picture, you know, because they go. Let me back up here. They go right on. You see on both sides of this thing, and they're very interesting because they're extremely smooth. In here is extremely smooth, but up here there's like a piece of bone, you know, that is not the same as this. And on this side there's even a little more of it. I can show that a little better, and it looks as though this part is altogether separate, very smooth. All right, and then of course we have the if that's the inside of the upper mouth, we have the holes I was talking about in the last one. But again, this is what we want to concentrate. These teeth are well worn down. How high they were, but I'm assuming from the nature of them that they were strictly molars, because no animal that had incisors would have survived if they had been worn down to this extent. They'd have died a long time before that. But these are molars. They have a root system very much like a cone. They're not like a lot of modern day molars on mammals where they might have 4 roots. You know, you've seen a molar pulled. They didn't. They have one cone, and that's it. Now, prior to this, I might have been on the assumption that cones were basically from incisors, but these things appear, as they go back into the skull, they all appear to be the same, and this part of this bone, this jawbone, is missing, and you can see the various parts, the outer part of the tooth and the inner part of the tooth, and then you can see from inside of this one that indeed the assumption was right, that this is the empty hole where a tooth was at one time, and that this is the inside cavity of a tooth that is still in its hole, and then this is the side view. So you couldn't ask for any better view of the teeth. You got everything. You've got complete teeth that have been just ground down from use, and you have a part of a tooth you can look right down the center of. You got a part of a tooth you can look at the side of, and then of course you have the cavity to which the root system went in. So hopefully I'm getting, we're trying to narrow it down. We've eliminated almost everything that I could possibly see. I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of dinosaurs, and none of which even begin to come close. We looked at all the modern mammals I'm familiar with, and none of them come close. We still haven't explained what these big grooves are, and we haven't explained much else, but I'm hoping the teeth are the are the defining characteristic of this creature. But I'll tell you what, it is driving me crazy, and hopefully somebody will solve this. And I want to thank the gentleman from Nova Scotia. It's been a big help. I don't know if he wanted me to give his name out, but I'll keep his channel name and all until I hear from him. So thanks again for watching, and uh, uh, what the hell is this kid's? Oh yes, Super Electro Beast just put up a very funny video. You people might enjoy. Uh, he made the mistake of taking the Icy Hot Challenge. All right, well, thanks again for your time, and hopefully this thing will be resolved soon because I want to have another contest, and silver's going through the roof.